Ron Miller Race Car Studio, this is the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer and Ron Miller.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report. You okay over there?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah.
For September 26th, show number 102.
Yeah.
Lots to cover tonight. Some breaking news that's breaking even as we speak. We're not even sure what the news is because it's still breaking. That's how breaking the breaking
All I can
news
tell
is.
you is if you have any plans on going to the Dirty 30 at Sandusky Speedway on October 12th, we strongly urge you to go to their webpage or to the Hammer Down page and let us know that you want to be there.
I did not put him up to this, Chris. This is, yeah. So, anyways.
We've got 20 minutes. We've got
20 minutes until what?
We've got a big window.
Until what?
Do it now, folks.
Oh. Yeah, if you okay, well, fine. I guess we could try that approach.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still there, though. That could be a problem. Let me check something real quick. This makes for some good radio.
Yeah, a lot of dead air, you know.
Well, that's what happens when news is breaking.
Did you announce who's in the studio tonight?
No, I did not.
Okay,
Go
we're
ahead.
here with Matt and Colin Shipley. They're going to talk about how their season went and Matt's first big feature win at Oakshade Raceway last weekend.
That was a pretty crazy race.
It was a big deal.
We got all kinds of news as well, and weekend weather pit stop.
Yeah.
The how many coming up a little later. We had another different online winner this week.
Online winner? You mean nobody in the studio won, Scott?
Well, we're always close. Yeah. Actually, I think our online winner was exact. So if we go to SanduskySpeedway.com/dirty30 right now, SanduskySpeedway.com/dirty30, we'll give you about 5 minutes. We won't talk about anything important for 5 minutes.
Right.
Everybody's just going to stop listening. SanduskySpeedway.com/dirty30. I'll even post this in the comments if you're watching us live on Facebook.
Let's see those fingers fly, Scott.
If you're a race car driver and you want to race in the Dirty 30 and you haven't heard about it yet,
do it now.
Late model drivers, dirt late models, trucks and bombers.
Right, and the dirt late models are not sideboard cars or anything else. It's just the way you race every week, and go for it.
If you do want to race on October 12th at Sandusky Speedway, this is pretty much your last opportunity to do so.
Right.
There's been some concern with some sponsor issues with the event. So
right.
we want to make sure there's enough interest in it.
Right. And if you'd like to sponsor the event,
give Chris Mize a call right now.
Yeah.
Right meow.
Quickly.
Right meow.
What do you think, Matt?
I think it's working.
Shipley Towing, could they chip in $10?
We might have to win a few more times.
All right, back to regular programming. Coming at you live from the Ron Miller Race Cars studio. We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and on Twitter, I do believe. Unfortunately, I can't monitor them all, but I'm pretty sure we're there. If you have any comments, you want to join the conversation, you can leave them on the Facebook Live. That's the only one I'm monitoring because I'm not three people and I can't monitor all of them. We do apologize. You can listen to us on demand on iHeartRadio, Google Play, iTunes, whatever your favorite podcasting platform is. We're on there. Toledo City Paper, Best of Toledo, is back. I just posted something on our Facebook page today about that. They're taking nominations right now. It's a nomination phase for their Best of Toledo. They do this every year. Last year we were nominated for Best of Toledo Local Podcast. So we made it to the final 6. We didn't win. So this year we're going to go out. We're going on with an all-out campaign.
That's it.
And no Russian interference in the election. That's probably why we didn't get
it. You know,
last
that
year.
was the most political comment I have heard Scott Hammer ever make.
I try and keep politics out of this
I know
for several reasons.
You're about the most apolitical guy I know. And
I hate politics.
Yeah.
Everything about it. Both sides. All sides.
But Russian collusion actually caused us to lose.
That's what I think happened.
Okay.
They got involved in I think they may have hacked the Toledo City Paper's website.
Seems legit.
Doesn't it, though?
Sounds good to me.
So help get us nominated and on the ballot, at least for this year.
And then we'll be pleading for you to vote for us once we are
that'll
nominated.
be a daily thing. This is just, you need to go there once per email address. take that however you want, just once per email address, and you can nominate us on there. And then once we get on the ballot, once the voting starts, that's when you can vote for us every day. And we'll definitely remind you.
Every day.
Pretty much. So that link to nominate us, it's on our Facebook page right now. If you go to facebook.com/HammerDown Racing Report, there's a link.
I think it's also available.
Or you can go ToledoCityPaper.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that right there on the front page? You make your nominations.
Best
Choose
of Toledo.
It's
Right.
in the media category. It's the last one on there. Local podcast. So you guys have a job to do when you get home today. Right? All right. Appreciate that. Tonight on the show, as we already mentioned, Matt Shipley, Colin Shipley. Matt Shipley coming off, I still find it hard to believe, that was your very first late model win.
It was.
Okay. Well, we'll talk more about that because it was an interesting race.
It was, for sure.
Before we get to that, though, let's cover some things from last weekend. Area Racing Roundup.
Things? Okay.
Cover some things. And we want to talk about Ron Miller Race Cars and all his great service and products and love of the Hammer Down Racing Report.
Absolutely. And we're getting to the time of year where if you want a new chassis, it's time to give us a call.
And you have gift cards, too, because the holidays are coming up.
Right.
So same with the Halloween. Do you give out like lug nuts or something for Halloween?
Scott, we have been at that location for 22 years, and we've never had a single Halloween.
You are kind of isolated there. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, one of the first years we were there, we left a big pot of candy out on the front porch. One kid could have taken the whole pot. Nothing.
Well, that was good for you then, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't even try anymore.
Well, give Ron Miller a call. He might give you some candy, too. 734-856-7223.
856 Race.
There you go. He fixed my car, and it was...
I told you it was going to be different.
It was a lot different. I liked it.
It was more faster.
It was more faster through the corners, yes, than it had been before.
That's a good thing.
It is a good thing. I wasn't complaining. Well, and the track was different than I was used to, too. Yeah. Yeah, you should know. You were a lot fast.
Yeah. We kind of had a rookie set up on Hammer's car, and after he broke it, he tore up some shocks, and we made some adjustments and went a little more aggressive, and he liked it.
It was mostly the shock, wasn't it?
It's
or did
stuff.
You do more stuff?
It's stuff.
That's great. All right. Well, good. If you don't share with me, then I can't.
Basis.
I won't give away my secrets that I don't even know myself.
You're in a need-to-know basis, right. Hammer. Come on, man.
Last week, Fremont Speedway had the Jim and Joanne Ford Classic. Friday and Saturday night racing. Tim Schaefer took the victory in the 410 sprints over Byron Reed and Cale Conley. In 305 sprint action, Paul Weaver took the victory over last week's winner, Alvin Repke. Dirt trucks, it was Sean Villani. He earned his 54th career victory over Kent Brewer.
I don't think there's a surprise in any of those winners, Scott.
No, well, and neither in this one. After his victory in the Richmond Xfinity race on Friday night, Christopher Bell debuted his own sprint car team to take the 410 sprint victory in the Jim and Joanne Ford Classic finale on Saturday at Fremont.
Yeah, he had a pretty good weekend.
It was a pretty good weekend for him, yeah. He started 13th, took the lead on lap 18. He lapped up to 8th place. So, sounds like a pretty good debut.
Yeah. And then he got a cup
How come you didn't do that in your late model debut?
Well, I'm not that good.
Oh. Well, okay. At least you're honest. I thought maybe it was
not that much money behind him.
Yeah. Jamie Miller won the 305 feature, and Valeni chalked up another win. That would be career win number 55 in the dirt truck. And Fremont is done for the season after last weekend. So the racing's starting to get scarce this time of year.
It really is.
Oakshade Raceway hosted the Papa Boiler Bomber Spectacular on Saturday. William Bubba Kundick was the big winner there. He was pretty excited to win that $1,000. And that was a caution-free race, too.
Green to
Not
checker.
so much in the late models.
No.
But the Bombers, usually they're...
As I'm sure we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we will. There's usually a lot of aggressive driving in the Bomber Spectacular.
Especially for $1,000 to win.
Yeah, and caution for... And even the heat races didn't seem too violent, so to speak. So
you made it through.
I did.
They put on some good races.
Yeah, it was some...
Late model heat races were pretty violent.
Talking to the mic.
Late model heat races were pretty violent. I'll move it.
There you go. Toledo Speed. Oh wait, before we get to that, Matt Shipley got his first late model win. Also on Saturday at Oakshade. Jerry Signer was the sportsman winner. Corey Gum picked up another compact feature win. Toledo Speedway had the Glass City 200. Do you know who won that?
I don't.
Caden? Caden won that.
Caden what?
Caden Lapkevich?
Yeah.
Lapkevich? I was hoping you knew his name so you'd say it and I wouldn't have to. He took the lead from J.R. Rohrig on a restart with 3 laps to go and went on to the victory in the ARCA Late Model Gold Cup Series portion of the Central Transport Glass City 200. Johnny Van Dorn won the ARCA CRA Super Series Late Model 100, and Chase Berta took the CRA Junior Late Model Feature win. Also, Toledo Speedway done for the season.
How old was he, Chase?
I don't know.
It didn't say? Okay. Because that's the junior late models, and I was I'm just kind
Curious
of
to see
impressed
how-
with that class. Yeah,
Right. How many cars do they have in it? Do you know?
for the junior class,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was busy Saturday night.
I was a little busy too. 2020 schedule should be coming out during the holiday season for Toledo Speedway. So it'll be interesting to see if it's similar to this year or if they maybe do a few more shows. I don't know. We'll find out the holiday season. Bearfield Motorsports Park was in action on Saturday through Sunday. That's what it was. Started at noon on Saturday. I bring this up because former guest had a podium finish in the Grocery Getter Classic. They did the very first one of that last year. Are you familiar? You heard about that race?
I have, yeah.
That race, 24 hours.
Sounds like a good time.
Over there in Fort Wayne, Indiana. There's been some
copycat races.
not really copycat, but because it's not like I don't know. It's more of a
Specialty
flattery. It's like flattering, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that was a good idea. We're going to do that too, kind of thing. So
Oh yeah,
there's been some other. I think Atomic did one or two, didn't they?
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Bearfield this past weekend, Chip Heinzelman was the winner. He completed. Guess how many laps you complete in 24 hours?
Ooh,
If we win, do we get a prize? If we guess the
No.
amount of laps?
No. He's usually good at math. That's why I asked.
am. But wow,
24 hours. He'll figure the average lap time.
Is that a half mile?
and
I
they're
think they were running on the shorter track.
well,
They got
and
like
all
a-
those guys are going to have repairs. I'm thinking 2,500.
3,387 laps.
I was
Wow.
way off.
Rod Morrison finished second with 3,321 laps, and Joe Nicolay, who was on our show, was that last year?
It was shortly after that race a year ago.
How would you like to have the job as a scorer at that race?
It's all transponders.
Oh.
They rely on the transponders for that, and apparently, last year they had issues because they had to send all the data out because the transponder system was it Westhold that does that system?
Yeah, and
It wasn't made for
24
that long of a
event.
race, so that it was the data was overwhelmed, and I think it took like a couple days for
Yeah,
them to
quit
process
counting
it.
at 1,000 laps or something. Yeah.
Anyways, Joe Nicolay, they finished third, completed 3,218 laps, and I know he had some extensive repairs they
Yeah.
had to make.
Huge crew, and I guess they performed flawlessly.
Not too bad. Matt Swander says 3,900 plus. You're a little too high, Matt.
Not much.
Yeah. Bearfield Motorsports, I just did that. World of Outlaws. Let's go to that. Donnie Schatz led all but one lap of night one of the Outlaw Boot Hill Showdown at Dodge City Raceway in Kansas. That was on Friday night. Brad Sweet led all 30 laps on the second night for the win on Saturday. Carson Macedo led early at Jackson Speedway. This was last night. And lost the lead to Sheldon Hodenshield, but regained the lead after Hodenshield bobbled and got the win. So Macedo got the win last night. Upcoming for them is the Four Crown at Eldora on Friday night. And then Saturday, they're on to Louisville in Pennsylvania for the World of Outlaws. The All-Star Circuit of Champions, Aaron Reitzel put on another dominating performance, leading every lap at Williams Grove on Friday night. Saturday, Brian Maniath passed Reitzel on lap 25 to win the Dirt Classic at Lincoln Speedway. Reitzel is back on top, winning his 15th All-Star feature on Sunday at Hagerstown in Maryland. Their next race and final race of the season, Four Crown Nationals, on Saturday at Eldora. And Reitzel has all but sewn up that championship there with his 15.
I'm not questioning that 15 races, but boy, it seems like we're talking about Aaron Reitzel every single week.
Well, that's why he's on top of the points.
I'm thinking.
Tyler Erb grabbed the win, passing Hudson O'Neill on lap 47 to win the shootout at Kokomo Speedway last Friday. Saturday, Hudson O'Neill came out on top at his home track, Brownstown Speedway in Indiana, in the 40th Annual Jackson 100. Their next race, they're off this weekend. Next race is the 4th of October, Raceway 7, and then Pittsburgh, PA Motor Speedway the next night, October 5th. State Line Speedway track champion Max Blair beat out World of Outlaw Morton Buildings late model regulars last Thursday night at State Line Speedway. So, local guy beat the traveling guys last.
What about Erie's Speedway on the weekend?
I didn't get that. Oh, that was where Rusty went, but that wasn't was that a World of Outlaw?
No, it wasn't. But it was a pretty high pay. It was a pretty high paying event.
It was $6,000 to win.
Yes.
Friday.
And
Saturday.
All right, let me get through these, and then we'll talk about that one. Shane Clanton dominated for the win Friday at Outlaw Speedway. Darrell Lanigan led off 40 laps Saturday at Selinsgrove Speedway. Did I pronounce that right? Is that how you pronounce that?
Selinsgrove.
Next race for the World of Outlaw Series late models is Thursday, October 3rd at Livonia Speedway in Georgia. Then they go off to South Carolina, Cherokee Speedway there, and 411 Speedway in Tennessee on the 5th of October. So no Lucas Oil or World of Outlaw late model racing this weekend. Erie Speedway, I remember who was saying that Rusty was there?
Yeah, Rusty was there both Friday, Saturday. I guess he had ran okay in the heat race, didn't run so well in the feature, and I watched the video from Saturday's race, came fairly deep in the field and came real close to winning the thing.
So who won?
There's a big name. I can't remember.
Was it Clanton?
No.
Clanton.
1 star.
I can't remember. It was a big name, though.
Anyway.
Hess was there.
It was huge. It was so big, we can't contain it. Christopher Bell, we mentioned him earlier. He led 238 of the 250 laps in the Xfinity Go Bowling 250 at Richmond on Friday night. That was the debut for Mike Marlar.
Chubb
Franks.
Mike Marlar made his Xfinity Series debut at Richmond, and it wasn't such a good one. He got involved in an accident on the first lap and was done. So that's not a good way to start. No. Not as good of a weekend as Christopher Bell had. Next race for...
Now, did you have Christopher Bell in your NASCAR news?
Yeah, that's what we were just talking. He won. He led.
No. I think he was...
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. That's coming up. Yeah,
all right.
I got you. We talked about him already. He debuted a sprint car team. He won Friday at Richmond. And, yeah, there's one more piece of news regarding
really
Christopher
good
Bell.
news. If you're Christopher Bell, yeah.
Next race for the Xfinity Series is the Drive for the Cure 200 at the Charlotte Roval on Saturday. It's going to be 3:30 on NBCSN. Martin Truex Jr. recovered after getting spun out to win his second consecutive Cup race on Saturday. Eric Jones had finished fourth, but he lost that position after he failed post-race inspection. So he got credit with last.
Wow.
I think he got 1 point or something. Their next race is also at the Charlotte Roval, the Bank of America Roval 400 on Sunday, 2:30. That race should be on NBC. IndyCar finished up their series with their season with the Grand Prix of Monterey on Sunday. Colton Herta led all but 2 laps. It was his second win of the season. Joseph Newgarden ended up winning the NTT IndyCar Point Championship. So they're done for
Oh, good.
This year. I know you're excited about that. Some other random notes. Buddy Kofoid went to Jacksonville Speedway in Jacksonville, Illinois for his first midget race of the year. He drove a midget for Keith Coons.
Keith Coons.
And Curb Motorsports. Yep, that's exactly it. He won his heat race, started on the pole of the feature, led every lap, took the victory there. So, pretty good.
Must be boring to be Buddy Kofoid.
I know.
You start out front and drive away.
He's good in midgets and good in sprint cars. Back to Christopher Bell. After he got that win at Fremont on Saturday night in the Jim and Joanne Ford Classic thing. It was announced earlier this week he will be replacing my favorite guy, Matty D.
Yeah.
Matt DiBenedetto, which has already been announced. He's going to be driving
for the Wood Brothers
in the 21 car next year.
Correct.
So he's already got a cup ride, so we're all good with Matty D. And no surprise, though, that Christopher Bell has been named the driver in the is it Levine family? I've been saying Levine.
Levine family.
Are you sure? I've heard Levine.
Whatever.
The guy, the car, the 95 car that DiBenedetto was driving.
Easy there, Scott.
Yeah. So next year he'll be in that car, Christopher Bell in Cup Series. He's earned it.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know what else he needs to do to get in that, but in some dirt late model news, Dirt on Dirt is reporting that Devin Moran and Dunn Benson Ford will part ways after the Dirt Track World Championship. No future plans were reported by either team. And one final note. Nope, two final notes. IndyCar TV viewership was actually up over last year, 9% this year.
Really?
Yeah. It was the first year. I keep hitting my... We're going to move this.
Easy.
No, sounded good, didn't it?
Easy.
It was the first year that NBC has had the exclusive media rights for that series.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow NBC is making it work for IndyCar.
Maybe it was just the attendance at Indy that made it better?
I don't know. There were some races that were on NBC broadcast network, the same weekend where the NASCAR races were on, relegated to the cable network, NBCSN. So, I mean, that probably helped being on the broadcast network, which reaches more people than the cable network.
Right.
So maybe they could do that for NASCAR. I don't know. Maybe that would help them out. Final note here, Chris Buescher will return to Roush Fenway Racing, replacing Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the number 17 car in Cup action next year. So it's silly season in the Cup series.
Wonder what Danik is going to do.
Well, they broke up like years ago.
I know.
What the hell? Okay,
no more free pit passes.
She'll go. Yay! I don't know. I have no answer to that. So Matt Shipley's in the studio with us this week, and Matt just posted what I just said about Chris Buescher. Anyways, sorry, I got distracted. Different Matt the Flag Man.
Gotcha.
Matt Shipley in the studio with us. You got your first late model win ever, apparently. Does this include crate late models as well?
It does.
Second every time.
I find this hard to believe.
Yeah, I ran a year out at Fremont with the crates, and I think I finished second 6 times that year.
I would have thought sure that you won one over there.
Nope.
We got second in the championship.
And second in the championship there.
We got a whole wall, just second, everything.
Second? Stop. Wasn't
So
there?
do you.
So do you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've got a wall in my room. It's
Colin
second
Shipley
baseball.
also with us over here, and you've had a pretty good season. We're going to talk to you, too. That season you were there, as I recall, I think it was the last race of the season. Was it Kai Harper that had a nasty flip?
Yeah. I don't know if it was the last race of this. It
was toward the end.
Yeah.
He flipped over top. And
Yeah,
he went under
I
and still
drove
won.
underneath him.
I thought you were kind of in that somehow.
Still couldn't. He still won that one.
Wait, after he flipped?
He flipped across the finish line.
Oh, that's right. It was at the finish. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Did you finish second in that race?
Third, actually.
Oh. Well, I guess that would be less disappointing than to finish second to a flipping car. But, all right, well, back to this, your first win, which I still find, still wrapping my head around that.
Well, you sure seemed surprised when I passed for the lead, according to your voice.
I think it was more because you were in that wreck.
Right.
But we'll talk about that, too. How many years have you been in a late model now?
When did I get back in?
4
4 years. Been 4 years.
So this has
now.
been 4 years in the making.
Yep.
See, this is why another reason I find it hard to believe that it's taken this long for you to get there.
Well, it's not easy to get a late model win,
Oh, that's true.
especially around here.
Race with a 3-time UMP national champion every time.
Well, you think maybe some of that would rub off, right?
No, it hasn't.
Well, you just got to put your shocks in the right spot.
Does he share any information with you?
Oh yeah, we get all the information.
Okay, so that definitely helps. And the fact
Sure.
that
Sure.
if he was at Oakshade this past weekend, do you think you still would have beat him?
The car's pretty good.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good answer.
Yes.
The car was perfect. There was nothing wrong. It was one of those star-crossed nights.
So
Exactly. You know how about every night you go racing, nothing can ever go right? It was just the opposite.
you got one of those
It
nights
didn't
where
matter
everything was
what I
clicking.
did, I still ended up with a win.
Even
Did you-
with the car parked on top of you, right?
You had a
Couple
flat
of
left front.
I had a flat left front for 2 laps. Last 2 laps.
Oh, that's well, maybe that made you faster.
Yeah.
Did you win the heat race on
Yeah.
Saturday? Okay. I think I might have been running back to the pits at that point in time.
Yeah. It all started with our first good pill draw of the year.
What'd you draw?
An 8.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That does help.
that's
180.
front
Definitely
row.
helps. Yeah.
Where did you end up starting in the feature?
7th.
Okay.
Were you at all surprised by the car count Saturday? I know I was.
Absolutely. I made my trailer real wide and I got yelled at by Chrissy.
Yeah,
I was like, well, I wasn't expecting anybody to be here. And there was, what, 35? Or
35
yeah,
cars. Yeah,
It's a good turnout.
We had a lot of Michigan drivers
Lot
came
of-
down because I don't think
Some
any
of
of the tracks
Michigan's
are running.
finest were down there.
Then you beat them.
We did, yeah.
But you've raced with those guys quite a bit with the
Yeah.
ethanol series, haven't
Yeah,
you?
we
So
raced with them a lot.
you're familiar with most of them and,
Sure.
and how to drive everybody, and
Sure.
so that kind of helps.
Yeah.
Have you been running the ethanol series?
On and off.
Okay, so you're not really going for the championship this year.
No.
Okay.
No.
So okay, let's go back to this race. So there's a big wreck, and it takes out about half the field, right? What was your part? What happened?
2/3 of the field, maybe?
Like all the whole field,
3/4?
those 2 cars.
The whole field, maybe? I don't know.
It was like watching a race at Talladega, and it was the big one because everybody just kind of piled into it. But from your perspective, walk us through what happened.
Well, earlier in the race, we were underneath the 50 car,
Ryan Missler.
right? And I felt like we were a little bit better than he was, and he was running up top. So my thought was there wasn't really anything up there to get a hold of. Usually he runs pretty good up there or wherever. So when I got stuck on the top for the restart there, went into one expecting to slide up a little bit and expecting the 94 to stay down a little bit, and got a good run, and he slid up a little, and I ran into the back of him. And we both spun out in front of the whole field and pretty much collected everybody.
Did he come talk to you at all?
I went and talked to him
you?
afterwards.
Because it wasn't intentional.
No.
And I didn't
no.
even from the tower. I thought he spun on his own. I couldn't tell until I was watching Ryan Missler's video from a different angle, and I was like, "It looks like Mac may have gotten into
Yeah.
him a little there."
And actually, I think Missler thought it was his fault because he cut his left rear down
yeah,
right as that happened. And he may have come up a little bit, and Mike moved up to avoid him, and
just
could've
one of
been
those
the whole, it was just
racing deal where
And I was-
everybody's bunched up on a restart.
right. And I was beating myself up about it quite a bit, and I just kept watching the videos, and it's just one of those racing.
Were you?
deals,
I mean, what are you thinking in the car at that time? I mean, were you?
oh, I was thinking the night was over, for sure. We took some.
yeah.
pretty
Well,
good
so
licks.
how much damage did you get? Because everybody just piled in. What exactly happened to you? Because you were buried in the middle. I couldn't even see.
Basically, just bent the left front spindle. Ended up with about 3 inches of toe out.
just enough.
Right. Evidently, it was a good adjustment.
So other than that, just
That was
cosmetic.
it. Yeah.
So how
Not even
bad?
too much cosmetic, really.
So how bad did
Bent
it
the
handle
bumper.
then with that toe out there?
Handled great.
Okay.
Until you
Did it
get
make it
flat.
better?
Did we learn something?
I don't know. Well, we're gonna add a little bit of toe out to it this week.
Keep
From our
sneaking
standard
back up on
setup,
that
not-
3 inches, right?
Not from the 3 inches, but yeah, I mean the car was phenomenal, obviously, but bent the bumper a little bit, but not up too far or down too far to where it affected the car any. So
So you're thinking, like you said, that you're done at that point?
oh, absolutely.
Were you surprised when it was a complete new lineup?
Right. So first of all, I'm thinking, show's over for me.
We're at the back.
Right. I have the tow truck guy take a look around. He says I'm good to go, and as I'm pulling away, Pam comes on the radio and says, "Everybody back to where they started, or everybody gets their spot back." And I was like,
Yeah, there were too many cars
seriously?
involved in it to charge
there was
everybody.
just, there was
It was
just no
everybody.
way they could sort that out.
"Right,
Yeah.
right."
I heard some complaints about that, but in all
I'm
honesty,
sure there would be.
there was just no way they could sort it out.
Right, right.
It was it basically, if you went to the pits, you went to the back, but everybody else, if you're
Right.
able to continue,
Right.
you get your spot back. So you restarted second, I do
So-
believe, right?
Yeah, because the 50 had a flat tire,
Mm-hmm.
and then the 94, I think he said
went
he
back
ended
to
up
the pits.
bending an upper control arm.
Okay.
So that started me second.
So what's your mindset then, right before going back to green? I mean, at that point, were you like, well, maybe I have a chance, or
Geez, I hope the car's okay.
Well, that was part of it. I didn't know how it was going to feel going in to turn one.
And you had to
full
go
speed.
charging in because you're at the front of the field.
Right. So, my mindset is do I hurry up and tuck in behind Milky and try to hold on to second? And we went into turn one, and I felt something up there, and I was like, well, I'm not here for second. So we went after it, and it worked out for us.
So about how many laps after that restart were you thinking that, hey, I could get my win, the first win tonight?
It was probably 4 or 5 laps after that. I didn't feel any more pressure from the 87, and we were coming up on the back of the field, and I was like, is this really happening right now? Is this my chance? So then I'm thinking, all right, don't screw it up.
Oh crap!
And that-
Lapped cars. Now
Right,
what are we?
right.
What am I going to
Which way are
do?
they going? And yeah, it was just it was amazing. Then I started thinking about my parents are probably going nuts in the stands, and you shouldn't be thinking about any of that stuff when you're out there racing. But
It does.
right. You'd be surprised how many different things I thought about.
You should mic yourself up and say it out loud.
Right.
So were you thinking every lap was like, where's the white flag? Where's the white flag?
Yeah,
Where's
it was
the
the
white flag?
longest race.
Where
of
were
my
you
life.
in this whole mess, Colin?
I was fighting for 7th.
Okay.
I think it was me, Shields, and Noonan.
Yeah,
Yeah, those guys are easy. One's
And-
a
and-
cheater, anyways, right?
right.
And your dad was wondering, well, am I going to lap him? Is he going to pass me? What's going to happen now?
I was hoping I'd be okay with him passing me at that
Yeah,
point.
I understand.
So the only thing better would have been a 1-2 finish, maybe.
Sure.
Okay.
So that's the goal this weekend.
So how big was it to to get your first win at Oakshade?
The whole thing was really emotional. You work so hard and you want it so bad for so long. You start thinking that you can't do it,
Well, 4 years. I mean,
Yeah, you just think that you're just not capable of it. Look at the guys we race against, You get people saying, well, go race here or there where the competition isn't so tough, and you might get a win.
where is that? Where do people say the competition isn't so tough?
It's not important.
Okay.
And a lot of times I'm racing regional races and not just local races and stuff. And, I like racing with those guys. And
And you're competitive with them. It's
yeah,
not
and
like
I feel
you're-
like we're competitive. I'll finish top 10 at a 10,000 win race or a 1,200 win race. That's what Rusty and I were talking about. It doesn't matter. I'll finish 10th at Oakshade for $1,200 or 7th at Merritt for 10,000. It's just
From my perspective, and I was really impressed watching you. Leading a race is one of the hardest things you can do
oh yeah.
because you don't know if you should save a little or if you should go flat out. What the lap cars are going to do. Leading a race is difficult.
Oh, it's terrible. It's the worst thing in the world.
I learned that in carts.
It's the worst
I'd
thing
rather
in the world.
take the lead on the last lap than you don't have to worry about it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, you don't know if you're fast.
It's a mental thing.
It is. I was expecting pressure from the 87 on the bottom. Everybody was on the bottom.
Maybe that's why you got the win.
And that could be, but there was other cars, running the top that just couldn't make it work. The car was it was perfectly balanced, and it was
And it had 3 inches of toe out.
Right.
So other than the 3 inches of toe out, did you take any other notes? Did you do anything different to the car?
I ended up moving some weight. And it's something Rusty had told me to do last year.
So it took you a year to do it?
But then Dusty did it, and then he won. So I was like, there might be something to that.
Well, your shocks, remember? You had your traction shock out.
Yeah,
2
and
inches,
just the
something like that.
placement of the traction shock. Couple weeks ago, we moved that at
It was
Merritt.
the
You
week
don't want to
before
give away too much of your
Yeah.
secrets.
But I mean, really, I think it was just moving that weight.
That made the big difference.
It did.
Could you tell in the handling of the car?
Yeah. I was basically taking weight from the back and the center of the car and moving it in front of the mid plate. And I was just so worried about taking traction out of the car that I never did it.
Now, is this something that'll work at other tracks, or is it just?
Yeah, I mean, it's the way Rusty runs his car all the time.
Okay.
Um,
So you may have found something that's going to help you out, not just at Oakshade, but anywhere.
Oh,
you go.
certainly, yeah, should help. And it ended up seeming to add traction. So figure that out, Ron.
I'll have to run that through the computer.
Right. And
3,000.
that's what Rusty says. I was like, how did it add traction? He's like,
It's magic.
right.
FM. That's
Rusty says he's tried everything else. Might as well try that, and it
Right,
worked.
Right.
FM technology. Freaking magic.
So, yeah, and then, with 2 laps to go, I couldn't decide whether to go high or low on a lap car and ended up getting pinched up towards the wall and cut my left front down. Ended up running the last 2 laps with the flat left front.
Well, at least it was your left front. That's
Right.
the least important one.
Right.
But
They weren't real impressed when I was trying to go over the scales, though, and my nose was dragging the scales up. And
so it was totally flat.
Yeah.
It wasn't just losing air.
it was flat.
Okay.
We had to change it to get the car back to the trailer after Victory Lane.
I did not even know
Yeah.
that. Did
We
not
had to go
notice.
back to the trailer to get a tire and jack and stuff and go back to Victory Lane to change a tire to drive it back.
So could you tell it was flat then when you were driving it? Because it didn't look like you slowed down.
On the last lap, it felt like it was getting a little harder to handle.
Get a little pushy.
Yeah, just jerky more than anything. And then when I slowed down, it started going thump, 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 thump.
Whoa. Like, oh, that's the problem.
Right. So if we would have had a caution, I'd have been in real trouble.
Cool. Now, do you have a favorite track?
I mean, Oakshade's my hometown track. We always like racing there, especially, it seems like they've done a really good job here recently with track prep as to compared to how it has been in the past. And it's getting to be more fun again for us.
Okay. What would be your second favorite track then?
Man.
At least maybe a place you've had the most fun, second most fun.
I like Merritt. It can be racy at times. They've done a good job here recently with track prep as well.
When Izzo was there is when that was the best track
Right.
ever.
I really like Plymouth. Plymouth is fun. Starts out super fast and
You like those Michigan tracks?
goes super slick. Well, Plymouth is Indiana.
Right.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't really raced. I run all the Michigan tracks a lot, running the ethanol tour and stuff. But Belle Claire, probably my favorite.
Where's that at?
Illinois.
Huh.
It is maybe a quarter mile, and the
A
outside
little bull ring.
the outside wall is railroad ties.
Okay.
You could probably reach
And it's
out and give
fun.
the drivers high fives while they're
Yeah.
going down because
So
everybody's in the
your
infield.
crew stands in the infield in case you get a flat or they have to rip the fenders off so you can keep going. You could literally give them 5 standing at the inside wall, and you're going slow enough to probably do so.
Wow.
But it's fun.
So it's more of a handling track then. Definitely not an engine track.
No, definitely not an engine track. Yeah.
Okay.
I should take my car there.
Yeah.
So as far as wins, because you've had wins, you've raced the Bomber for years ago. Where is this in the late model? Is this your biggest win?
Oh,
of your career?
definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Does it even? I mean, does any of your other wins even compare to that?
No.
Maybe your first win
No.
ever? No. Okay.
No.
You never won a Bomber Spectacular or anything.
No, closest I got was 3rd.
Okay.
So, we had a good run in a Bomber Spectacular, going from the back to the front a couple times, but Nothing compares to this. I mean, I
And
don't
is
think
that-
I don't think back then I worked as hard as I do now to try to get that win. So I think that's what makes it so special.
And the level of competition?
Right. I mean, there was good bomber drivers back then.
There was good ones
was
back then, not anymore. But.
Oh, I mean, there still is. There was 120 cars there when I was
yeah.
racing, you know.
So
But
that-
it's just, you know, late models. It's your stuff has to be right on, and you have to be right on, you know, to be or you can be on to lunch. I mean, you're 2 turns off on a right rear, and you're a 10th place car instead of a 3rd place car.
So there's a fine line you gotta get.
Sure.
Okay.
For a guy like me, unless you're, you know, a national level talent and you can take that 10th place car and win with it, you know.
So are the expectations a little bit higher now after getting your first win? Now it is.
I mean, we hope to keep it rolling.
Okay. Well, you got that setup working for
Right,
it. So
right. We
found
should be
something
good
there.
as far as that goes, yeah.
Well, Saturday there were some feature winners that didn't make the show.
Yeah, there was.
So it
And,
tells you how tough the field was.
and you know, there's a few guys from Michigan that are some of the Michigan's best, really.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that made it even more special.
okay. Would it have been even better if Rusty was there and you beat him?
You know, my dad asked me that. He's like, well, don't you wish Rusty was there? And I'm like, heck no, I don't wish he was there.
But if you
yeah,
beat him, though,
Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. For
I'm sure he would have been giving you a high five or a
Oh,
hug
yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
No kisses. Though,
He was
right?
excited.
A lot of people at your trailer Saturday.
Yeah, a lot of people stopping in and saying good job, and then the social media stuff was really overwhelming with congrats and,
That's
and
cool.
stuff. Yeah.
And you were talking when we had you on last time about your sponsorship program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet your sponsors are pleased with that,
Yeah, and
that'll help you get more.
It's nice to be able to do that for them. You know, that's not the most important thing for sponsors. You know, I mean, product sponsors and stuff. Sometimes it is because they want to see their products winning.
Well, they want to be on a winning car.
Right.
That's why they sponsor you.
Right. But, you know, like the other sponsors and stuff, you know, it's still nice to be able to do that for them. You know, to do this, I mean, I get invited on here and be able to mention their names. And,
Go ahead and mention their names.
you know, like Jim White Honda's a huge part this year. Rick's truck and equipment sales on a Kenton, Ohio is a big part.
Velocity fire suits.
Velocita, as the shirt says. Swift Springs, Bill Steen Shocks, Schaefer's Oil, Dominator Race Products. You know, they're all a big part. So
what's left this season for Matt Shipley?
well, we planned on going to Plymouth, but with the weather the way
And
it's
that's Indiana,
looking-
not Michigan.
Indiana,
Got it.
correct. Logistically, it's tough. We would have had to load Colin's car up into Tyler's hauler, and then if Plymouth rains out, they either go to Illinois, and then his car's stuck with them in Illinois. So we just decided to stay home, and we're going to take the tops off for Oakshade this weekend.
My office mate upstairs
Right.
I work with, he's like, I hear there's going to be topless models at Oakshade this weekend.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
we can only hope.
Right.
Well, Matt, the flag man, he said he's going to go topless.
Oh, nice.
No, not so much. Not so much. So what's is that going to be your last race of the year? Anything else planned?
No, we're
for
gonna
later?
run the dome race in St. Louis.
Are you really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've registered for it 2 years in a row and haven't gone yet, so we're doing it this year.
What about Colin?
One car, 2
This is
cars.
my last one.
Just one car.
I meant, are you running the dome? So you're done after
He's-
Oakshade
he's-
this weekend then?
He's
I don't think
relegated to crew chief for that weekend.
He is.
I don't think I'm old enough for the dome. I think you got to be 16 like Eldora.
How old
Let's
are you?
check. I'm 14.
Are we allowed to ask how old people are? Well, this isn't a job interview, so I can ask
Yeah,
how old you are.
I don't see why not.
So you're 14, and you've been in the late model for how many years now?
It's 1,
I thought you
He had a
did
few
two
races last year.
Okay.
At the end of the season.
5 last year.
Yeah.
And then I blew up.
Well, that's not good.
Blew up the engine.
Then
You didn't.
I didn't blow up. I'm still here.
So how? Tell us about your first season in a late model here.
It was pretty good. I think we ran Oakshade 6 times and 3 out of 6 I've gotten top 10.
You've been very competitive. I mean, how is it running in the late model? I mean, is it fun? Is it what's a cool? What do you like most about it?
It's definitely fun. At first it was difficult because the cars are so backwards compared to go-karts, but
A little bigger than the go-kart.
it's way bigger.
Colin, tell us a little bit about your car.
I've got a 604 crate. We've got mild steel Rayburn. The only difference between our cars is the engine, and he's got Dokal.
I didn't realize you were running a crate.
The only difference is about 450 horse.
Is that all?
It's not that much.
So he might do good at that railroad tie
Yeah,
wall
probably would.
track
Yeah,
where you don't need.
I mean
much
he does
motor.
does good at Oakshade.
Yeah,
and,
recently,
recently
and you did pretty
we've been-
good.
We've been using some horsepower here recently.
I was
Boy,
going
I'm
to say
telling
you
you.
used to
Yeah.
run the crate late model at Oakshade
Right.
periodically
Yeah.
too, and was very competitive.
Yeah, I've ran a 602 there and a 525.
Same with Brad.
Yeah, Brad Eitner has.
Okay. So what's your plans for next year? Oakshade, this weekend's your last race this year.
Talk Dad into a big motor.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah,
Trying
that's
to.
the plan. I think he's going to follow the ethanol tour in its entirety.
Really?
We
They haven't put
uh,
out their schedule for next year yet, have they? I know they keep expanding every year.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing yet.
No worries about that for doing some traveling like that?
No.
You'll be doing the same thing then, Matt?
When I can, I guess. Just depends if we don't have a 2-car hauler, so
Not yet.
right.
You need a sponsor.
We need
Bigger
to
sponsor.
win a few crown jewels, and then we could
Yeah.
get one of those. But yeah, that's gonna be our main focus is him running the ethanol tour next year.
So where else did you run this year?
See, this year we went to Merritt and Oakshade, really. I don't think we went anywhere else.
Nothing at 96?
No.
Not for him, no.
No?
Nothing at Attica?
We went to Attica once.
Yeah, you did run
Yeah.
it.
Forgot
What-
about that.
What was your best finish this year?
I want to say 6th.
Okay.
6th at Oakshade.
It's respectable, especially at Oakshade with
Sure.
the competition level there. Running the ethanol, that's right. Okay, never mind. So you're not running for any track championships or anything next year?
Just rookie of the year.
Just the ethanol championship.
Just that. Just a little thing like that. Okay.
Tentative.
Tentative.
Tentatively.
Plans could change?
Oh, always. You know how racing goes. Plans
I
are always
do.
changing.
What's your long-term goal? I mean, you're already in a late model. I mean, you're 14. Where do you go from there?
I don't really know.
Okay.
Just wherever it takes me.
All right. So you don't have any aspirations to go sprint car racing, ARCA racing, NASCAR,
Well,
Formula One. I mean,
Like World Outlaws or Lucas is really the only thing I could dream of going to.
okay, late model. Then you want to stick with the stock car then? Okay. Have you ever driven open wheel, not including go karts?
Yeah, you're in a quarter midget.
Oh, yeah, but that was only like one race.
Yeah.
That still counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was different. It was the first time I've ever been into like a quarter midget, and it was concrete. Yeah.
Yeah, we were indoor.
How'd you do?
I did pretty bad.
Yeah, not so good.
Yeah.
Of course, you had fuel leaking one time, and
Well, that was in the cart. The one time the fuel cells are like right between your legs, and the cap popped off, so I had fuel all over my legs. That happened twice. The one time it came off the engine. Oh, so that happened in both cars actually. So in the quarter midget, the fuel cell's behind you, and you're all strapped in like full containment, so it was leaking all down my back. And then we went into the
Seems a
cart.
little
I think you
dangerous.
stopped.
No.
And we got into the cart the next day, and the fuel cap popped off right between my legs and splashing all over.
That's very dangerous.
I think we got second that race.
As
Yeah, in the
as a
car.
guy, I don't think I'd want that happening. Not at all.
Could be life changing.
It could be. Oh, all right. I don't want to think about that anymore. So both you guys will be racing this weekend. Have you beat him in any races yet?
I don't know.
Finished ahead of him at all?
Carts.
Okay. Well, I meant in the late model.
Not even a heat race?
Haven't.
Yeah. You break last lap every time. So we've got
Oh.
carts at Rusty's. He will lead every single lap except for the last lap. It'll be 25.
My cart only runs for 24 laps
That's because you're waiting for
every
the
time, 3 times in a row.
you're waiting for the checkered flag or the white flag, and it just never comes.
Goes back to that leading race thing.
Yeah.
We talked about it
It's
earlier.
the worst.
Right.
No, I mean in the late model. Have you haven't bested him yet?
I
You
don't
think
think so.
that'll happen next season?
Hopefully.
Okay, or maybe even this weekend.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, have you ever had contact, hit him at all or anything?
Well, this weekend, when everybody piled up, we were in the same wreck. I didn't really hit him. I hit another car which hit him.
That doesn't count. I meant racing each other and
I don't
door slam them or something.
Think we've rubbed fenders at all or anything.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, you've never faced family unity until your kid runs into you.
Right.
Uh-huh.
You speak from experience.
I do indeed.
I can think of several just this season.
A couple anyway, yeah.
But your son had a good season. He finished top 10 in points.
He did. I was real proud of him this year.
Steve Miller, yeah.
He,
give him a shout out. Oh, I was speaking of shout outs. I closed on my house tonight, and I told Ross Mortgage I'd give them a little plug. Jason Sprague, they're all involved in racing. Mike Fisher,
nice,
helping me out. So if you need a mortgage,
there's your sponsor.
There you go, Ross Mortgage. So they're heavily into racing and stuff. Do you need to answer that?
Nah.
No,
nope, not that one.
Not that one. Okay. We play How Many. Have you guys played How Many with us before? Did we do that last time you were here?
No clue what that is.
All right, well, I'm going to tell you. Last week we did, we guess. It's a guessing thing. We played how many 410 sprints were going to be at Fremont on Saturday for the big race there that Christopher Bell won. The information I found 36.
Okay.
And that would make me the winner because I guessed 43 for the in-studio people, which was just me and you last week.
Yeah, okay.
Online, Allison Miller was...
I know her.
Do you?
Yeah, it's my granddaughter.
I guess that makes sense with the Miller name, huh?
That's Steve's daughter.
Is it?
Yeah. One of.
Okay. I only know Stephanie.
You know Stephanie. Now you know Allison.
Well, I don't, but Allison was the winner. She was exactly on...
Yay, Allie. Way to
36.
go, girl.
So get with Dean Henry, and he's going to hook you up with some free pizza from Mr. D's Pizza in Fremont.
That's it. But you do have to go to Fremont to get it.
Probably, yeah. He's probably not going to deliver it to the Toledo area, unfortunately. Probably should. I wonder if Uber Eats would do that.
I don't know.
Money will buy anything. If you pay the right amount, it'll happen. So this week, we're going to guess how many topless models are we going to see at Oakshade this weekend.
Models?
Yeah. I purposely let off the...
Purposely
left off the late, but yeah.
Let's go topless late models. Yeah, okay.
How many vehicles that'll be topless in the late model class at Oakshade? Because I think the other ones are optional in the Bombers and Sportsman. Compact's not optional, but...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's I forget the reason, but... Anyways,
okay.
Late models. How many late models are we going to have at Oakshade this weekend?
32.
All right, I'm putting you down for 32.
32 and a quarter.
By the way, you don't win pizza or anything. None of the studio people win stuff. We just mention your name next week if we win, though.
Sweet. It's you.
What do you got?
23.
23? All right.
That was a good number. I think Plymouth is going to take a few cars away. This weekend's the corn harvest up mid-Michigan. I hate to do it, Matt. 22.
Can I change my number?
Unless is it closest without going over?
No, it's just closest.
Unless Plymouth rains out, that all changes.
Yeah.
Unless it's a tie as the closest, then whoever's under. That's my tiebreaker. It's my rules. I kind of make it up as I go, really.
All right.
Anything to help him win.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm going to go with 24.
Ooh.
Wow. Jeez. I'm going to have to hit this one right on, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Aren't you? So we'll find out. And if you want to play online, people already are. Jerry Signer says 30. Garrett Weil says 25. Flagman Matt says 17. You're a little low there, man. He's not very optimistic. Phil has got 22. So if you want to,
all right,
if you want to play along online, go ahead and put your comment in on our Facebook Live video. You can do that even when we're not live. But whoever guesses the number first, if there's two people that guess the same number, they get the credit. And you could win possibly Mr. D's Pizza, courtesy of Dean Henry.
That's it.
But you got to go through him.
Can I put my number on Facebook?
That's a good question. Haven't tried that. Sure, I guess. Sure, go for it. Why not?
Sweet.
I make the rules, so yeah. If it's on there. Let's talk about some upcoming racing this weekend, and then we'll get to our weekend weather pit stop before we wrap up the show. This weekend, not much going on closer to home. There's the Plymouth race. What's going on there?
American Ethanol.
Okay,
Autumn
that's right.
Classic.
Friday, Saturday.
Big show.
When's their season wrap up?
The ethanol?
Yeah.
October 12th is their last race at I-96.
That's right. I do remember seeing that. Eldora will be in action on Friday and Saturday night. Night one of the Four Crown Nationals with the World of Outlaw Sprints plus USAC Silver Crown qualifying is tomorrow night. Gates open at 2, racing at 8. General admission is $29. Reserve seats $34. Saturday night, Oakshade Raceway. Of course, we've been talking about that in action with the topless models of the late kind. Topless late models means the roofs are going to be cut off. It'll be family friendly. Bring the kids. It'll be fine. I don't know about Matt, the flagman, though. That might be a little scary if he does go topless. Nothing illegal about it, though, I suppose. UMP Sportsman Bombers Compacts all back in action. Gates open at 4, racing at 7, and general admission $14 at Oakshade. Saturday at Eldora's night 2 of the Four Crown Nationals with USAC midgets, sprints, and midgets. Why did I put sprints and midgets and midgets? The All-Star Circuit of Champions sprints there as well. Gates open at noon on Saturday at Eldora, racing at 8. General admissions $34, $39 for reserve seats.
Wow.
And you said the corn harvest is going on this weekend up at Mid-Michigan?
Mid-Michigan, right.
Is that all weekend?
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday?
Saturday, Sunday.
What classes they running up there? That's a tight little track. Have you run up there?
It's a fun
I've
place.
never been there, no.
It's a tight little
It's a
track.
fun place. Obviously late models, modifieds, street stocks, front wheel drive. I think there's 5 classes.
Okay. You can probably find them on Facebook and get that information. So let's check out the weekend weather pit stop with Ryan Weekman. He apparently had Robert Shields, chief meteorologist over there at Channel 11, having some sound effects for this one.
He was helping.
He was helping out, yeah. So we left this one unedited, and we will air it as we receive it.
We're going to leave that in. That's Robert. This is your weekend weather pit stop forecast. I'm First Alert meteorologist Ryan Weekman. Sound effects courtesy of meteorologist Robert Shields. Hey, we've got races at Eldora Friday night. We'll watch out closely. Could have some scattered showers moving in from the west, but more than likely we're going to stay dry in Eldora. Saturday, really nice conditions. Yeah, there's going to be some rain overnight late Friday into early Saturday potentially, but by the time we get to race time Saturday evening, should be great. Eldora, Oakshade, both places should see temperatures somewhere into the 70s. Great fall weather with heat still expected to return early next week. This has been your weekend weather pit stop forecast. Be sure to download that free First Alert weather app. I'm First Alert meteorologist Ryan Weekman. Robert, any more sound effects?
Vroom!
Vroom. Yep, that just happened.
Okay.
that happened. So depending on how much rain we get overnight, hopefully we'll be all right.
We haven't had a lot of rain lately, so I'm thinking we're going to be all right.
All right.
I don't know why you guys are even talking about that.
We don't use the R word when it comes to race day.
It's just track prep.
Right.
There you go.
Precipitation.
Yeah. It'll be a fast track again, which will work out in your favor most likely.
Let's hope.
Although you did say that the cars, and I think I've heard it from you too, that the cars handle totally different without the roofs on. The late models do. What is the big? Does it lose downforce? What's
it adds downforce actually.
It adds downforce without the roof on it.
Yep.
How's that work?
I suspect that the roof causes turbulence, Scott, and it lets the deck and the spoiler do what they do best.
So there's more downforce on the rear end?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That makes sense. I'll accept that.
Just getting more air to the spoiler.
So does that make it drive worse then, or better,
just
or
different.
just different?
Yeah, I mean, if you were racing like that all the time, you would be adjusted for it. But just
so you're
running
not sure
your
what
normal
the
setup
so
and
you're
then
not
taking the roof off.
So you're not
kinda
sure
throws a curveball.
what adjustments are to make to compensate for that, right?
Right.
But it's pretty much for everybody because not everybody runs topless every day. Although there's some people that do you take notes when you run topless?
No.
Remember what you did last year?
I really don't. All I know is I freed the car up a little bit before we left, and
Just go from there.
Yeah.
All right.
Wing it.
Right.
Thanks to associate producer Dave Kemmer for helping out, and I'll probably need his help a lot because next week I'll come in to do the show, but I'm going to be off work all next week working on my new house. Yeah, so I will rely on information pretty much primarily gathered from Dave Kemmer. He'll be a big source of the show next week.
All right.
Yeah. What are we going to do about the Dirty 30?
I don't know.
Okay. We're going to talk to Chris about that.
Yep.
And
check our Facebook page tomorrow. Check Sandusky Speedway's website, their Facebook page.
There was an issue again with sponsorship falling through, so they're a little apprehensive about going through with this because they don't want to. It costs a lot of money to put on a race. And
yes, it does.
You don't want to have to pay out of pocket.
And it's probably the last race of the year, and if you're wrong, you're going to be eating hot dogs until New Year's Day. So,
like I said, if you're interested, you want this race to happen, definitely fill out that form, sanduskyspeedway.com/dirty30, or contact Chris or Doug Dock over there. And if you want to sponsor, if you're a sponsor, you want to put some money into this thing, definitely get a hold of them. The sanduskyspeedway.com, they have contact information on there. And it has all the makings of being a great race. It just needs to happen. There you go. Don't forget to nominate us for Toledo City Paper Best of Toledo local podcast category. On there, you can go to ToledoCityPaper.com. And once you do that once, you're good. I think that goes for a few more weeks. Right. Taking the nominations. So tell your friends to nominate us after you do it, so we make sure we're on the ballot. And we're going to take care of the Russian collusion that kept us from winning last year. We've got the Ukraine working on that for us, so yeah, we're ahead of the curve this year. I'll accept that. I will accept that. Next week, we'll be back with another show. It'll be super huge and awesome. That's all I can say. If there's... What, Scott? Oh, no. Lost my train of thought there. Oh. Make sure to call... Dead air scares me. Yeah, well, I had music covering, so it was all good. Make sure to give Ron Miller Race Cars a call for all your racing needs, parts, supplies, service. 734-856-7223. 856-RACE, give us a call. Almost got it memorized. Darn you. We'll see you next week. HammerdownRacingReport.com. More information on Hammerdown Racing Report there. All the ways you can listen to us. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Matt Shipley, Colin Shipley for coming in tonight, and good luck this weekend. Thanks for having us. And good luck next year with the Ethanol Series. Thanks. All right. We're out. We're going home now.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report from the Ron Miller Race Car Studio. Listen on demand on iHeartRadio.